It's a rainy day today, but we are here, friends, and I wanted to walk through and show you my plants because I've been away for a little bit, and honestly everything looks so much better in the rain because they're not all scorched and dry. But we're gonna start with some new fuchsias, hardy fuchsias that I got from the nursery, and they're fruiting, which I actually just deadhead them when they fruit. But I want to find, look at how pretty these are. They're so pretty, and these ones are so big. They're so awesome. I'm very excited about that. Oh, I also found this. Look at this. I don't know what kind this is, but this is a crazy dahlia, and I didn't even realize it was here because I'm a bad plant mom. And then let me show you my little babies. So my little fuchsias that I started from cuttings are doing really, really well. And the limelight is also starting to get its like pistachio coloring, you know, with the pinky purple. And I want to show you my babies that are over here as well. My cuttings. I moved these over here because they needed to germinate a little better. And you can see that some of these have started. We've got some delphiniums and some digitalis. These take a really long time to germinate, so kind of not surprising that I only have a couple, but that's okay. And then inside of the garbage bags, this is how I propagate my little fuchsias and all sorts of other woody, woody cuttings. So let me just open this and I'll show you. So here are some Cape fuchsias. I don't see any roots here yet. Not on the Cape fuchsias, but this is hardy fuchsia, and I feel pretty confident that there's going to be maybe some little root hairs that might be starting on these. Yeah, you can kind of see little root hairs. Well, maybe not really on the camera, but let me find one that might have some roots. Ah, here we go. So look at how gross these look. And that is just like, that's root being stimulated to grow on these. So it'll take a little while, but these will root soon. So they're sitting in very little water because I don't want them to rot. But yeah, I'm starting to get little baby roots on these, and it's cooling down significantly, so it's getting harder and harder to root things without a heat mat, but that's okay because we're still in September. We still should be good to root for another couple weeks. Oh, here's one with roots that I can show you. See? Roots. So first they kind of get these like nubbins on them, like little nubs, and that's just the plant sort of producing its root hormones. Oh, here's a really good one. Okay, see that? So lots of roots being produced here. These are very small, so they're just going to sit probably for another maybe week. I probably will change the water on this, but this is a dahlia right here that I'm gonna try to root, and as long as you keep it in the cup and cover it, so I cover it with a garbage can or garbage bag, very high tech around here, they should root. So I'm gonna cover it back up to keep the humidity super high. So these are probably in like 70-80% humidity. And then I kind of leave the bag partially open so that we can actually see. And then these ones are more cuttings, more fuchsia. I took a lot of fuchsia cuttings in the hopes that some of them will work out. And I took some jasmine cuttings in a cup, and I also took some jasmine cuttings in water. We'll see which ones root first and turn out first. And then I've got some dahlias in a cup and some of the orange kind of lantern plant also in soil. So some of these are in soil and some of them are in water, and that's honestly just a function of whatever I felt like I was doing. But both of them should work. Oh, back here is another fuchsia that I can show you. It's so pretty. It looks like this. Yes. Look at how pretty it is. Ermagerd. So beautiful. And then we've got some hollyhocks here. That's looking a little droopy, but I think it's still awesome. I have transplanted a lot of hostas from this side to this side. So this used to be nothing underneath this camellia, and I've transplanted a whole bunch over here. I think it'll help both with keeping hostas out of my beds, and also keeping this plant's roots a little cooler, because these will help with the sun. It is raining, there's water everywhere. But I want to show you that I have some columbine about to rebloom. So they were really sad throughout the summer, but now that the day is a little cooler and starting to be shorter again, the columbine is doing really well. I've got to like step around them now because they're everywhere. My arbor rose, this is Arbor Rose Kiss Me Kate, very loud in the back. Look at how pretty Kate is. So Kate is climbing and actually grew quite a lot in the last couple weeks here. Ever since I pulled out the lilies, the rose, look, it's reached the top of that arbor. So that's very exciting. The willow is like enormous now. Needs to be cut back real bad. We'll look at it from this side because I put in a pink jasmine. I bought it maybe a week ago from the wholesale nursery, and it's really cool. Hang on, I'm just trying to train it to go up my fence. So I finally gave up and pulled out the gold flame. What's it called? Oh my god, why am I suffering? Whatever. The vine that was here, and finally put in something else that looks better. I'm actually gonna walk along the outside of my fence for a second so that I can show you some stuff that's harder to see from the other side. So pretty little pink flowers, and I actually just wanted to show you this one. This is another hardy fuchsia. It is so cool. Look at how cool this is. I love it. I put it against the fence because it gets pretty shaded right here by the tree, and so that should keep it pretty happy, I hope. And from this side we can see the red dahlia. I can pull it a little closer, maybe. Yes. Look at how pretty that is. Very pretty. I can't wait. I'm gonna move dahlias. I think I've said that several times. I'm so sick of them falling over because I did a bad job. It was my fault. I did a bad job. Look at this though. Strawberry vanilla. 10 out of 10. 12 out of 10. 15 out of 10. Oh my god. Look at that. It's so good. I am looking for another one. I will find space and make it work. And then my box is, they're okay. You know, I think I will appreciate them more in the winter when all of this is dead, because all of this will be dead. So I'm happy for the tricolor sage, and I'm happy for that. And I guess my peony is about to be done too, because it's starting to brown. That's pretty typical for this time of year. Even like, oh yeah, big news. I don't have any more grass. Look at this. So my neighbor, as it turns out, owns a grocery store. And so delightfully, they gave me a bajillion cardboard boxes. And now, with the help of many cardboard boxes and wood mulch, look at that. I don't have any more grass, and I'm very excited. There's a little bit of grass along the edges where I couldn't get it, but I'm just gonna like kill those by hand, and that should help a ton with everything. Oh my gosh, I thought there wouldn't be that much traffic because it's rainy, but I was wrong, and it's actually really, really loud. So hopefully you can hear. Okay. I'm really happy with my color choice this year, because everything looks so good during like the rain right now. Like when it's a little cooler, the colors just get to be so much more vibrant. So yeah, I think, you know, some things need to be filled in a little bit. Like the Veronica back there is really small and it needs to be deadheaded, and I'm not convinced. I think some of these might need to be moved because they're bigger than I thought they would be. But that's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna let it kind of grow and see how it plays out in the spring, and then I'll probably move them if they look too much. A lot of the mulch is super fresh, like literally brought in yesterday, so it's still super uneven. I have to be really careful to like not fall over. But I mean, look at the color of everything now that the rain is here and everything is a little fresher. I promised my friend that she could have this plant right here, so I'm gonna cut it out, dig it out, maybe today, because it's raining, so it's a good day to move. And then I just decided to get rid of this finally, because I can't stand it anymore. It's too big. I mean, look at this corner. Wait, I'll have to step way back. It's a lot. It's a lot. It got a lot bigger than it was, and I love it, but that's crazy. But let's look at some dahlias, because what's better than dahlias? Nothing. The answer is nothing. Look at how awesome these are, and how beautiful and vibrant and orange, and I love the orange. So good. Some of them are kind of pink and orange, but this color right here is like everything. Oh, and then look at this fluffy one. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. I know they need to be deadheaded. I have not deadheaded anything in a while, because I am tired. Okay. Yeah. So I love this for me, and I don't love this for me. This is not a tree. You know how crazy that is? This grew, like all of it grew this year, and it still hasn't bloomed. That's crazy. Hydrangeas. Beautiful hydrangeas. And my blueberry bushes that are doing very well. And my sunflowers that need to be cut down. So if I am feeling good today, I will cut that down, because I've got babies in the ground waiting to grow. And so all this other stuff needs to be taken out so that they can grow. Same with this side. There's a lot of transplanting that needs to be done, and it will probably be done. Well, maybe I'll get to it today. We'll see. Lots of new babies, lots of new seedlings coming up as well. They are mostly weeds and or cilantro. The cilantro is okay because I'll just eat them, but it's hard to tell what kind of weeds they are until they get their real leaves. So if we look closely, this is clearly a marigold. This is a cilantro right here. You can see the first leaf of a cilantro. So the cilantro is okay. You know, I've got a lot of cilantro coming up, and I totally expect to have a lot of cilantro coming up. And then I've got what looks like violas as well, and that's also okay because I'll just transplant them elsewhere. But there are certain things coming up here that's not terribly helpful for me, so I'll probably move those when they get a little bigger. But the cilantro can stay because I'm going to eat them all over the winter. And then for the most part, everything is not too damaged. There's a lot of slug damage. So I'll have to put more slug bait in here. I absolutely hate slugs so much. And then my snapdragons are doing pretty well. I'm gonna have to figure out how to cover them for the winter, but that's just normal. Oh, look at my squash. This is a butt squash. Butt squash is everywhere. And I've got some more regular squash as well. And I've been cutting and harvesting seed from the sweet peas. Let me see if I can find a full pod. Well, this one's pretty good. It's yellowing, but I can show you some pods that are maybe not ready yet. Here's some pods that are not quite ready yet. You have to wait till they're brown before you can harvest them. And then these are my sad cucumber plants that I didn't do a very good job at growing, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, lots of squash everywhere. And then I don't know how I have just one single sunflower here, but that's cool. And then I grew some long beans, and listen, this is, oh, there we go. There's a long bean. There's a long bean. They didn't get very tall, and they didn't do very good. So I don't know. I don't know how to grow long beans, clearly. Let's get to the end, maybe, and then we can walk back through the middle of this bed, okay? So we've got zinnias. The zinnias are almost entirely doubles now. I mean, this is a great zinnia. Look at that. Like, this is the perfect zinnia shape when it's super open. So I like it when it's like that. This is not as good, in my opinion. I like when the zinnias are just like, woof, how big that is. So I'm gonna cut some of these today for the bouquet. I planted violas at the bottom of the kale because the kale is gonna get pretty tall, and it's already been harvested a couple times. But that should keep the bottom kind of partial shade. So violas should do well here. And I'm gonna end up cutting all of these trellises. The vines are gonna die anyway over the winter, you know, because they're not hardy. On this side, so the cooler weather, while it is really tough because I know the end is coming, with it comes the return of like really beautiful flowers, like these yellow ones that were really suffering earlier in the year, and now they're actually looking much more happy and full and vibrant. And I noticed an issue with the Berneries this year. the white just gets damaged really easily. So I don't think I'm gonna grow the white again, because for the amount of effort, I don't think it's worth battling with the bugs. These are some ornamental kale and spinach that I'm growing. And lemongrass that is, let's see if it's how big the stem is, because this is my first year growing lemongrass where like I actually have a respectable lemongrass plant of size. So I think it's doing pretty good. Like both of the bushes have pretty large stems, so I'm excited for that. Oh, here's some beans that are ready. So sweet peas ready for harvest. I'll probably cut it today when I have time. And Eden looking incredible, even though it's a little spent. The only downside of Eden is that it doesn't have any smell at all, like nothing. My lantana, so gorgeous. Like what an amazing plant. We had to like pull up the entire ground cherry, so it's looking very angry, but it's the end of the season anyway, and it's time for stuff to go. You know, they gotta go. I need to harvest as much as I can and start to wrap up some of these here, because I'm gonna run out of time real quick like. But look at these Bernaries. I love this yellow. This is a great yellow. Like, you know, I don't love all the yellows in the garden, but I just think this one is so good. And they're so healthy. They have no health issues. They're just like super easy to grow. Whoops. Oh, that plant fell down. Well, let's go this way first, and then we can come back and walk under the giant trellis, okay? So, I'm gonna go this way. Oh, look, my digitalis. It's blooming. This is one of my grocery store finds. Also, this one is a salvia. Yeah. And, oh man, I gotta attach things, the trellises, you know, make sure they don't fall over, especially with the winter and all the weather problems that are about to come and greet us over here. All right, so this is the jasmine, and it just needs to be wound onto the fence. I love it. It just needs to be supported. So this is all I do. I just weave it into the fence and try to get it to grow in the direction that I want. That's all. That's it. And the goal is to get a whole jasmine fence here, fully cover this, take the brunt of, you know, the wind, and make this corner a little more sheltered. Oh, maybe this is not the greatest time to do this, but you know, yeah. And then over here, rose. This is that stripy one that's really beautiful, and it's really, really close to my apple tree here, but this is a columnar apple, so it's not like it's gonna get enormous. It's gonna pretty much stay at this size. And let me just loosen it so that we don't choke out the plant with the tag. Yeah, it's a nice tree. Krosny and Yukon. I accidentally knocked the irrigation out of the Yukon, so it was looking really bad for a little bit, and then I went to diagnose it and I was like, oh, well, I guess you would like some water. My bad. Whoops. On this side, we have some I am super struggling. Starts with a G. Gora. Some white Gora and salvia. I really like this salvia. And there's a coreopsis down there. It might have to be moved because the Gora and the salvia especially gets way bigger than I thought that it would. Oh, and look at how big this monster has gotten, and it has reached the top. So that's actually pretty exciting. I've been waiting for it to make it all the way to the top, because, well, it'll be so helpful when it's actually ginormous. But you know what I'm gonna do while we chat is I'm gonna try to see if I can untangle this, because it's pretty tangled up in here, and I'm pretty sure that this one is actually big enough to also reach the top. It's just that I haven't trained it to go up. So we can do that. We can take this out, right? And untangle it, and then we can train it ourselves and sort of hand manipulate this plant into growing onto the trellising that we want, which is actually this part, and that will help with being able to support the plant. I mean, the wire fence is very strong, don't get me wrong, but it will be a lot nicer if we were able to actually put the main trunk of, like, this is a major stem right here, right? It's really, really thick. It goes all the way down. And so that size stem is going to be really good to be able to actually support the core weight of what this will eventually be, which is very large. This vine right here is going to be a very serious size vine, and so it needs to have pretty significant structural support to be able to grow in the long run, because this is kiwi, and kiwi really, really has to be carefully curated onto its support structure, its long-term support structure. Okay, so I think I finally managed to untangle this huge mess of a vine. So this one, oh, almost, this one made it to here, so I'm gonna have it wind to right here and just maybe leave it there. Well, that's not as long as I thought it would be, but that's okay. It'll grow a little bit more. This one, let's see, is this one gonna make it? Like, I wanted to be able to make it to this top beam, you see, because that's where the real strength is gonna be. Okay, well, almost, very close. So I thought that it would make it, but it doesn't, so we'll give it a minute. Actually, it would if I unwound it one more time. So I'm actually gonna do that. I'm gonna, because it winds in kind of circles down here, and then that shortens the length of the vine, right? Because it's like wrapped in circles. But I actually would like this vine. I think long term I want like only maybe 3 major stems of the male here, because you don't actually need a ton of growth from the male plant, because you're really just looking for the male for pollination. And so, like, we don't need, extensive growth. It made it. Look, there we go. Okay, you're gonna watch me struggle with the next one, but this is how it goes for reals. This next one, let's see, I don't think this next one is going to be long enough, but it can wind around itself and start to help itself get up there. So we'll start doing that. And then the third one, oh my goodness, this is so silly. This thing is super caught up, like, everywhere. It's a very good climber. It climbs with its main trunk, like it just wraps like a bean plant all around. Oh, and it probably sounds like a hurricane too, because it's pretty windy and cold right now. But this is what real gardening is like, okay? It's wet and crappy, and I'm doing it anyway. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Okay, look. I did it. I got most of the plant untangled and pulled out. There we go. Oh my gosh. What a... Okay, look at how long this actually is. So this can easily make it up. And I'm just gonna throw it over like this. Come on, plant. I am too short for this, you know? I don't think you can even see my struggles. That's how... Okay, there. There. All you have to do is throw it up, and then it will figure itself out up there. And then on this side, we have the female plant, which is a lot smaller. I am going to prune this later because I don't need quite so many vines with the male growth, because what we actually want is the female with its delicious fruit over here. Let's see, are there any ripe fruits? No, these are super hard and nowhere close. But well, there's one that might be okay. I'm gonna take that one. And there's a couple down here. It's so cold, I'm losing feeling in my fingers, so I actually can't tell. Let's walk along. Let's walk along this area. So one thing that I have done that's new is I have put fencing all around, all the way down the fence line, so that I can grow my climbing roses with support. And I'm going to train these up this way eventually. This right here is Boscabelle. Let me get close so you can see it. It's very pretty. It has kind of this orange center, hard to see right now. And it needs to be deadheaded, of course. Everything needs to be deadheaded all of the time. I put up this this wooden trellis here. Oh, I just knocked this one and knocked all of its petals off. Awesome, good job. Because this plant has been struggling a lot with heat. I may need to move all of these because they're really, really, really struggling super hard. This is the amazing Rudbeckia, Prairie Sun Rudbeckia. It's doing excellent. I'm very, very happy about it. And this is the Mock Orange that is also doing very well. Needs a little bit of pruning, I think, but I really enjoy it. This is a hybrid tea. Look at the color of this. Isn't that amazing? It's so gorgeous. And then this is Limelight in the sun. It's not very limey. It's almost like you can see the difference between, look at this, the side that faces down and the side that faces the sun. So all of the sun side is this purple and all of the underside is that green. So you can really control the color. And look, here's some new blooms that just bloomed, and it's white, but it turns pink after. So this is on the same bush. They're the same plant. Isn't that cool? I think that's super cool. This is another rose and a plant that I need to plant in my plum tree that needs pruning. Everything always needs pruning, guys. It's really annoying. I believe this is Evelyn. I mean, look at this. So I've been letting this go a little bit, especially this part here, because I need to, it's intertwined into this big mesh, and I need to remove it because I'm going to train it on the mesh behind the green one that's less visible, because this one's like too visible and it's ugly and I don't want it. I'm going to remove it and put it somewhere else. I don't know what is going on with this hydrangea. It's just crawling on the ground and I am not into that, so I'm going to cut it way back later this year. And then I finally have some returning blooms on this climbing rose. It's a mini climbing rose. And some sad rhodies. I don't think this is the spot for rhodies. It's struggling. And then some irises from earlier this year that finally rooted and is finally trying to grow. And then this is the only rhodie, or this is an azalea actually, that's done well, because you can see how sunburnt that one got. And this is a Cecil Brunner climbing rose. And the mountain of, oh my god, of Datura. They're super cool. They are very cool. But let me show you the disaster that is this plant. First of all, it smells disgusting. I hate peanut butter, so the smell of the plant is like not it at all, okay? So as I'm walking here, everything smells like peanut butter. And you know, if you're into peanut butter, it's probably a nice thing, but it's not for me. But look at how big these stems are. And then it makes these horrifying fruit, and these are super hard. They're like durian level spiky fruit. Look at how weird they look. So they start out like this, and then they get bigger and bigger, and they are terrible. Like nothing's gonna eat this, you see? Who is gonna eat? I mean, the plant is already insanely toxic, right? Like nothing will eat this plant to begin with, but then consider how terrible it is to eat this fruit looking like this. Look at that. Okay, so it's very large. It has absolutely taken over this area, and I haven't been able to get back here to prune anything. I have some new hydrangea blooms though. Look how awesome that is. This is the old mop head. Oh god, I can just smell that. It's so gross. So I haven't been able to get back here. Haven't even been able to get back here to staple that down, but I will. And I gotta go harvest some of these. It's just, the smell. The smell. Okay, I'm gonna walk past the peanut butter again. Not into that. So gross. Okay, we're gonna walk back because actually we're gonna exit right here because it's pretty brambly in there. All right, let's come out this way. Okay, and then we can look at some roses that are blooming. So this is Love at First Sight. Isn't that beautiful? I'm so happy that I put in the cut roses right here. Excuse me. I have 4, and I have beans that are finally kind of doing the correct thing and climbing on the fence, because that's what I wanted, but it took forever. And Stiletto, so only Stiletto and Love at First Sight has bloomed, so the rest might bloom next year. There is Mr. Lincoln right here, and this spiky boy, actually this is Mr. Lincoln right here. This is Dolly Parton. They're gross. They're so spiky, but gonna be beautiful. Can't wait. Oh, look at my enormous squash. I'm trying to grow more squash. All right. Well, it's kind of messy back here. Oh, I put in a new one called Black Magic, and I'm saving space right here for a black baccarat, but I won't have that until much, much later in the year. Or actually in spring, I believe, is when my rose lady said she would have. black Baccarat. All right, so you can see the squash is trying to go everywhere, and I'm trying to keep it contained to my side of the fence. You know, I don't want it to go over to the other side, especially to the neighbors. That's not good. So just trying to keep, you know, keep them sane and keep them on this side and keep them from going too crazy. But they're doing well. All right, this is our delicata. Look at this. It's actually doing really, really well. And it had a really slow start, but now that it's going, it is producing. So I'm excited for that. These, I don't remember what they're called, but they're so pretty. Somebody gave this to me as a tiny, tiny little start, and I'm so thankful because they are so cool, and I love the color on them. And it's just an annual vine, but it's really pretty, and it's very prolific. Like, can you see how many's up there? Yeah. And then I've been letting this monster just crawl everywhere because this is a tayberry, and I know it's gonna fruit on second year canes. So I'm trying to let this go so that I can have a big pile of first year canes for next year. Oh, we have new, yes, Savannah roses. So pretty. I love Savannah. It's finally blooming again. It's so nice with the cooling of the weather to get blooms again, because it was kind of, I don't know, August is a rough time for blooms, right? Really hard to get lots of blooms. This is also starting to green up again. You know, you can see where it got pretty burnt. And also have some maple starting to grow as well. And my best looking jasmine right over here. And then back here, oh my god, I've got Solomon's seal and some bulbs and this absolute monster of a ground cherry. And then I've got some huckleberries back here that are not very bushy, so I think I need to prune them, maybe. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I don't know how to take care of them. A lot of new stuff that's just sprouted, especially back there. And I've just put in a ton of bulbs. I'm looking for a spot to put quince. Quince is a really important plant to me culturally because we use it for New Year's to cut stems from it. And so I need it to be accessible for cutting. It doesn't have to be big, but it does have to have a spot that it can get big enough that I can cut. The quince that I got does not have any spikes, so I don't know. I'm thinking of maybe putting it in here, but I don't know if it'll be happy with that, like taking out these obviously and putting in here. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea, you know? The maple, look how wild this is with the maple. These are the summer leaves that are just like so tired and sick of this life, and then the brand new leaves, my god, just and then I have some variegated maples which have very unstable foliage. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is reverting back to green. So the variegation is down here, right? And what I want is this, like the half. But what's happening is this one has reverted to full green, and this one is going full white. And the problem with full white, as beautiful as this is, so you can see it's like slowly losing its chlorophyll, right? So the pure white can't photosynthesize. So it's just gonna brown and die. But then the green, what are you doing? You know? Yeah. My cute little Japanese maple here is also getting very, very long, and I need to figure out what to do about that. Might be pruning it a little bit to get it higher. Same with this one. We'll see. And then the Chief Joseph is, I don't know, it's a pine. It looks good. The rose has finished another blooming cycle, so it's got new blooms and it's got to be deadheaded. This one will bloom nonstop as long as I just prune it and keep it pruned. So that's great. This freaking monster of a hollyhock, I don't know how big the blooms are going to be. I think these are black hollyhocks, so I'm really excited because if they get enormous, this is going to be so exciting. It's clearly not going to bloom this year. I don't see anything resembling a stalk, but it's just monstrous. Like, it is so big, so big. This is the quince that I'm trying to put in. So just really important to me to have that plant. I just need to find space to put it, basically. And then we already walked over here, but I want to show you this front area because this is a new area that I'm developing that I want to show you. So this is completely empty. This is brand new area. Well, not brand new, but undeveloped. And I'm going to turn it into a little forest. So I wanted to capture what it looks like now with everything empty and a couple of new babies just here. I will talk about these in the future when I have them in the ground, but I will walk through and kind of briefly show you what they look like and how pretty they are. So they will be in here eventually. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm very excited about that. And then I want to show you my $5 forsythia. Look at that I put in, which is pretty wild to me because, you know, $5, like what? But it's here. And then I got all these succulents from a friend, and that's so nice because I'm just gonna propagate them. And then in front of my fence, which I rarely show, is some perennial sunflowers for the bees, some aster, cute little aster. The aster is actually doing a lot better here than it ever was in my garden. Some barberry. That is definitely not doing well, and it needs to be moved probably because it's a little too small. That's a mock orange. It's just tiny. And then a smoke tree and some weigela and more aster, and weeds. A lot of weeds out here. And a lot of road noise too, because I'm on a pretty big road. And since we're already here, we're just gonna walk to my rose garden, which is back here. Oh my gosh, I'm so sore today. I moved all this wood chip yesterday, so I'm exhausted. All right, so the entrance to the back looks a little bit different now. It looks like that. And I've got all my roses here. And it smells amazing right here. It smells so good. I just got this, that sweet mademoiselle. I already have one. I'll show you what it looks like. But I saw it as a tree, standard form. Oh, look at this, right? So I'm gonna plant one because it looks incredible. But like, look at that. Yeah. And it's like the longest video ever. So the back looks pretty much the same. Not much has changed. You know, I don't change the back very often. I put in this shelf because I got sick of looking at all my crap, and you can see I haven't even put away the box. And we can walk through real quick, but I'm not going to talk about it because honestly, it doesn't look much different than before. It's very green, it's verdant, it smells like rain and deliciousness, and I love it. I love all this green. I love that it is really starting to look like a forest, and that's what I was going for. That's the vibe, and it's hitting, you know? I love it. All right. Oh, I got raspberries, round 2. Look at these. Yeah, these are fall raspberries. So if you leave your raspberries and cultivate them and feed them through the summer, they'll fruit for you again. So these are first year canes producing a second round of fruit, and this one is so ripe I'm going to pull it off and eat it right now. Oh, that's so exciting. Look at, isn't that awesome? Yeah. So back here is my food forest. A little bit of reforestation, let's call it, back here. But this is mostly edible, very kind of wild looking. Well, this one's not part of the food forest. This is a weed right here that needs to be eliminated. So I'm going to pull it right out. But, you know, part of growing here is just figuring out what is desirable and what is not, and removing all the things that are undesirable. And so it allows me to kind of cultivate this forest look, and yeah, give myself a little bit of privacy here and get a whole bunch of food. Isn't that exciting? So here we are, and I'm gonna walk back and then find a nice spot to take a break right here, and then I'll talk to you later. Bye.